This is a sneak preview of the next layout I'll be doing. It is using Fairy Dust by Graphic 45. I haven't put any pictures into this because it's for my granddaughter's 2nd birthday. So I've done a really nice flat card here, and there is also a flat card here with some shakers in there as well. So there is a sneak peek. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and please do leave a comment down. I do enjoy reading your comments, and just like my channel. Now let's get on with the process video. Hi, it's Deb from Project Life, Deb's Way. I'm going to do my next layout using the Graphic 45 Fairy Dust, which is lovely for little girls or whatever. It's got beautiful papers. That's your front sheet. You have your 3x4s plus your 6x4s. You also have a cut apart sheet. It also has a floral with a check. It has a pattern. I didn't use this one. It has one of these magic sheets that you have a lot of borders and stamps, and it also has a purple sheet with some mushrooms, which I didn't use. In this set I found a couple of ribbons. I've used a few glider clips. I might use some of the photo corners, which are nice. I found some wooden hearts to use, some florals. I've got some nice green brads I might use, but that's about all that I'll be using. So all of my bits and bobs I will actually cut from my sheets, so it is quite economical to use. Now we'll start off with our first card, which is come off of our 6x4 sheet. And what we are going to do with this, which is this card here, I have cut all of 2 of my green basils into 4x6 cards, so you'll end up with 12 of these cards. So what I have done, this little border here, I have just cut off, because all of our cards are going to have this backing of the green card behind. So I have just edged my cards, and this time I'm going to be using an archival ink because the green's just right for what I need. So we're going to stick this card down onto our base card. So it has a neat little border all the way around. Now with this one I'm using some hearts, some flowers. I have cut the stamps out, and with your stamps, the ones that are on the sheets have a purple edging round. I've actually trimmed mine off, so I've only got this little part of the card. I'm going to stick that down with some dimensional tape. But I'm only going to put this at the top and not the bottom. Now I found some lovely organza ribbon, which is here. So I want to stick my flower down here because I want to do my organza ribbon across. So what I'm going to do, I find ribbons are so expensive that I tend to actually stick my ribbons down on the back. And if I'm doing my bow here, I will tie my little bow on the side that I want it. Because over the life of your scrapbooking, if you keep tying ribbons all the way around, you do go through a lot of ribbons. Just cut off what ribbon you don't need. And just wrap it around the back. Like so, and that will hold your ribbon into place. Now I've just put my little card which I've taped in, and I've put the little bit of fastening tape behind so it actually slants out a bit. This flower here I'm going to put here, and I found in my stash some lovely pinky coloured brads, which I'm going to put into the centre of the flower. I'm also going to pop in a little white flower, which of course if you have a little punch, you could actually punch your own little flowers out and put a little diamante in. That's where the little punches come in, because you can use all your scraps. My little hearts I've actually textured white because I'm going to stick my little hearts once again. You always use the rules of odd numbers. Now I'm also going to use some stickles just to give, because all little girls love glitter. And very quickly going to just put a little bit of glitter on the fairy wings. And there we have your first card finished. And as I said, the glitter really does make a lovely little card. And your bow will actually flatten out as it goes in to the envelope. It will flatten and stay where you've put it. So that's our first card finished. Now our next card is the last of the portrait, the 6x4s, is going to be a flap card. Now how I've done this is the inside of the flap, this is the top of the flap, and I have got one of the photo frames from this sheet here, which is this photo frame here, which I've left the little green outside so I don't need to have a card. And the cut apart that I used was, I just cut this away. I've cut all the inserts out, and this is, and inked it, and this is what we've got. So this is how I construct my flat cards. I have got my normal card, base card, the 6x4, 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. I then did a 2-inch strip of the bluey paper, which I've used on other cards, which I've just put a little tiny border, which I want to set just on this side of the card. So I'm going to stick that down. Like so. Now inside here I have got my piece of folded card, remembering that if you're doing a flap that doesn't have a slit opening for the pocket, you have to make your own slit. So don't make it the full length of the card, only make it partial. So what I want to do with this is I want to stick this on both sides, because it does get a bit of punishment. So we'll just put it. Now when you're putting your card, just make sure that you give yourself a little bit of room on the other side of the card, so that when you fold, you've got enough room to put it under your plastic folder, and then attach that down, and that is really quite sturdy. So there is the front of this card. Now on the back, when you're doing frames, the easiest way I've found of getting a nice cut is just to get a Stanley knife and a ruler. The Tim Holtz rulers are really good because they've got a metal edge which stops you from cutting into your ruler. So we just need to cut the greenery out. There we have our frame. Now I've just put some tape inside, but I'm only going to stick the top one on, because you need to be able to put your photograph in. Now I'm just going to trim any excess off. And there we have our little frame for our photograph to go under. Now this page here is the page that will be fitting here. So we just need to edge our card. Make sure our fairies are up the right way. Now in here I am going to put this card here, which of course once again I've done my little photo corners. those on. And you can either use this card for journaling, or you could actually put another photograph in. Now with this card, I have taken from the sticker sheet, I have used this little bit here from the sticker sheet, just here. Just across the bottom. Snip the excess off, and once again just quickly put your diamantes on your little flowers. There we have that card. So we have your fold flat card like so. Now, with this card here, we are going to stick this just here. We're going to put this lovely little flower here. Now I'm going to lift this card up because I want to put a brad through that. Okay. I want this flower to be just here. So by putting it underneath, you won't get any of your brads coming through. I'm going to put the love heart up here. Which I'm just going to paint bit of white on there. Let that dry off, and I'll put a bit of glitter on that. Now I've put some glitter on the wings. Yeah, I'll put some glitter on there. One of the little white flowers. There we are. So there we have our flat card. Which you can have your photograph or two photographs. You can put some journaling and etc. So there we have our next completed card. Our next set of cards are our 3x4s, which are landscape. Now with these two, I have just done my 1/8 of an inch border here, and I've just put a little bit of coloured card behind just to give you that little bit of extra. So I've got one's green and one is the spot and the other one is the green. So there is the two cards for our photo mats. with these, I have just put the purple spot with the 1/8 inch, and I'm using the small, these here on my layout. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim just so that the frame that will just sit like so. I think with that I might, don't forget just to edge around your edges. And that gives you a nice journaling spot. And there is our next card. This one here I'm going to do exactly the same, except the only difference is I'm going to put border, and I'm going to put this one down here. Like so, and then I wanted just a little bit of that green. And I'm going to cut this one out exactly the same as I did the other one. Now we're just going to attach this, so I want this slightly lower. There you go, on both of these. There we have our first set of cards for our layout. Hi, this is card number 2 and number 3. Unfortunately my video didn't turn out, so I'm having to re-video this. This has your 6x4 card, the 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. Then I put another piece that is 2 inches across and down, and I just put a piece of the basil cardstock over the top. I've got my 3x4 mat, which I put my little green photo corners in. This little fairy here comes off of one of the 6x4 cards that has another mushroom as well, with just one of the borders, which I've put all the way across. And don't forget to ink all of your cards. This one here, I've done the same. I've got my little photo corners, my 3x4 mat. I have just put one of the border strips in. I found one of the little stamps which I've just have put on dimensional tapes. I got one of my green paper clips and just put a little bow on the top, which is attached to the stamp. This has a 6x4 card, with the next card is the 5 3/4 card as well. So that's another easy card to do. So here is your first side, which is your left hand side of your page, and of course I just move this because it's wet. And here is your bifold card, so even if it opens, as you can tell, it still follows the same format, so it doesn't look odd. So we'll now continue on with our other side. Now we get on with our other cards here. I've just stuck this down. I'm going to cut with my scissors. An equal border all the way around. To make a photo frame. Now this photo frame was just this one that said fairy dust. Now with the card we've got the 6x4, the 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, which we need to edge. There we are, and I just want this little bit of card edged as well. And that just has an 1/8 of an inch border as well. Now they can be taped to your card. Like so. Then this card here fits like so, but before we do that, I want to wrap I'm going to try this a different way this time. See if I can make it a little bit easier. I am going to wrap the ribbon around and attach. See whether this makes it easier. Then I am going to see if I can tie a bow this way. And now we can put our photo mat on our card. Just going to bring that a little bit up. So it's in the middle. and that way you can put your little photograph in here. You've got your little... If it was me, I would actually put a tiny bit of some to attach your bow down, because then it will lay flat and you can just snip but you do get a nice flat bow doing it that way. Okay, make sure it's well and truly stuck down. And I think we will put some little diamantes to finish this card off. And there we have our first card finished. Now our next card is quite an easy one too. This sheet here was on one of the backs of the cards. I just wanted it a bit of I'm going to put that up a bit, like so. I have got my 3x4 card, which I want at the top here, but once again I need to match this up. Right, so we'll put our photo corners up and line them up so they're nice and straight. It does not work putting diamantes on that way. Now, I'm going to lower this strip down a bit so you can actually physically see it. Stick our diamante in. Okay, I have fussy cutted two little fairies here, and also this one here, which came off of one of these sheets. Now I want to put the two little girls here, which I've put dimensional tape on. This one here I want to sit flat at the back, like so. Now I'm going to make sure my little girls are sitting so I can get my photograph in. Okay, I'm going to snip all the excess off. And there we have our next card finished. Our next landscape card is another easy one. You've just got your 6x4 base card. I've done the check, which I have edged in green. I'm using the fairy dust border, which I've just cut a little border off. Put that down there. I do have a little postage stamp which I'll put a little bit of backing onto. I have got my 3x4 photo mat. Which I need to put over enough there we go. I have done my little corners once again. I also got another clip because we've got one on the other side. Corners straight, unfortunately mine's a little skew with. And there we have your next card finished. I think I might just put some more tape on this one. Up the top. To get it nicely stuck down, and there's our card finished. Now my next card's a little bit different. I'm going to do a flat card. But I'm going to use, they're the little sleeves that you can actually buy from Snap Studios, and all they are is little clear envelopes that you can use, and they are quite handy to have. So what I have done, I've cut one of my little 3x4s, which comes off of this sheet here. I've just put it onto a backing 3x4 card which fits in, but the difference is I've folded it down. I want to actually put, I found some beautiful little sequins and things, so I decided I wanted to make a little sort of shaker card, and they really work very well. So it sort of just sits in the bottom, and when you go up it does shake around and etc. So what I'm going to do now is, with this particular card, I've got my 6x4, I have got my mat which is 5 3/4 by 3 3/4, just give me that 1/8 of an inch border. I'm going to pop this down. Now with this, when it is bent over, just hold it into place and slide. This little card was a border, and if you have a look, it's got an 1/8 of an inch border either side that I've cut, and then I've just cut some plain card basil on the back, and I've just eyeballed it and cut it with my scissors. So that will fit just underneath the card like so. So I sort of place it roughly in the middle of the card, like so. Shake all your bits down. Then I am going to make sure, it's a bit tricky, and then place it so that the fold is just over the card. Really stick it down well so that none of the sequins can fall out. Give that a good fold with your nail and it will really sit nice and flat. And you can also put your photograph over here. You do get some sequins come through, but that's, or if you don't want that, you can actually put a card on here, which I think I might do. So we're going to put a 3x4 over the top of that card there. Now on the back of this one, I've put it and that, so if you fold that down and stick, you end up with your card underneath with your shaker card. Two, if it was me, I would actually, if you've got a fuse tool, just fuse this closed, or you can get a sewing machine and just put a stitch across, which will stop a lot of that, or you can take this off. Very carefully, you can get a small piece of tape but a fuse tool would be the best, but if you don't have that, take that off and stick it down. And that should, by rights, stop those little horrors running where they're not supposed to. And there we go. That has actually stopped that. And there we have our gorgeous little shaker card. Now before we start our small 3x4 cards, I actually meant to put some love hearts on the bow card. So to do that, I'll just get some Tombow glue. Which of course won't come out. I'll put some Tombow glue. And I'm just going to put and just pop some stickles on them, and then that's cards finished. Now we're on to our last set of 4 portrait 3x4 cards. I have edged all of my coloured cardstock. I have got my 4 base 3x4 cards. These ones, once again, have got the 1/8 of an inch border just around, just a smidgen, just take a smidgen off, which gives you a little border. And I've done the same with this. I've done just taken a little tiny border off, which gives you your photo mat. With this card here, the mushroom card that we did for the little girl fairy, this was the other piece of the card that was there, so I've cut that out and edged it, and that's going to go onto this card. I got a mushroom from just the odd paper stock which is on the purple spot to put in. This one here came from the cut about sheet with all the fairies and etc, which is going here. And I found Believe in Magic on the borders and that you get with all the stamps and everything else. Same thing, I got the border from there, and I've just got some odd pieces of paper. This here, once again, has got just the border. I have done a smaller square which just fits in with the 1/8 of an inch border again, and then this is going to go here and this will go here, which I've put a bit of basil on the back. So I'm just going to go and construct those for you now. There we have our 3x4 cards. I will just put a little bit of glitter on the fairy wings. And last but not least, in this bottom one, I would just like a few Don Montes put on the card just to finish this card off. And there we have your 3x4 cards all finished. So here's your finished layout. You have your flap card here. You also have your little shaker card there. And as I explained earlier, I have just put some temporary photographs because this layout is for my granddaughter's second birthday. So hopefully you enjoyed this process video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and if possible leave some comments because I do love to read your comments. Until next time and the next video, this is Debs from Project Life Debs Way. Good night.